Well, folks, this one must be debated. Somehow it drives me crazy. It gets me mad. And it is a useful madness. I mean, it is an useful angriness. Angry. Yes, I am angry with the news provided by Marcel Irnie, related to a guy in Canada conditioning his visitors in his shop by wearing or not wearing a mask, by being or not being vaccinated. Hey, now it's time to debate this on real basis with real arguments. Remember that in 2006 there were a conversation live on a radio in United States between a neo-Protestant pastor, teacher, however you want to say it, and a rabbi, a Jewish rabbi, Finkelstein.
I have a guest by the name of Rabbi Finkelstein. You know, the 7 Jew banking families that took over control of the money in America in 1913 was the Rothschilds of London, Israel Schiff of Italy, Kuhn&Loeb of Germany, the Warburgs of Hamburg, Lehman Brothers of New York, Goldman Sachs of New York, and the Rockefellers of New York. A lot of people, they don't realize and know that these 7 Jewish families actually control all the money and have controlled the money in this country since 1913. I know you're aware of this.
Of course.
Now, in doing so, I mean, that makes a pretty big purse, doesn't it?
Listen, you know, the goyim are the schleppers. You know, they do all the work. That's what they want to do. They want to work. They always want jobs, so we give them jobs to work. The Jews don't work.
Finkelstein. This conversation is free on internet. You can listen to this one, and I can quote this conversation because it has been already published since 2006 to today. And this Protestant is asking some questions to this Jewish rabbi. One of the answers from this Jewish rabbi is that they do not involve explicitly in disturbing people everywhere in the world. Finkelstein says that we arrange the things that they kill one to each other, that they fight one to each other. We arrange the things that they fight between them, and we make some shekels. I almost quoted this Rabbi Finkelstein. So, there's no need for anyone to accuse me, even YouTube, of being anti-Semite, as long as I quote this Rabbi Finkelstein.
As being off the synagogue and a teacher of the Jewish race, because you are a race, aren't you?
Well, some say we're a race, some say we're a religion.
Yeah, well, what do you say?
We're a little of each.
I can imagine, yeah. Would you agree or disagree that there's actually more killing and there's been as much slaughter in Palestine by the Jews slaughtering and killing the Palestinians as there are of the Iraqi people being butchered in the last 12 years?
Well, who counts? But once in a while you got to thin out the herd. When you own the herd, you got to thin out the herd.
I see. That's the philosophy of making money and staying alive and staying ahead. Is this right? Now, I'd like to...
You take that Iraq business over there. We got the white goyim fighting the Arab goyim, and they're killing each other, and we're making a lot of money, and we get the oil, and we get the interest. The most important thing is the interest on all the shekels that we loan both sides.
You mean usury?
That's right. You call it usury.
And the second of his answer should be used by Marcel Irnie as a sound illustration of my my arguments and my debate starting now. Listen, what this guy from Canada with his shop and his conditioning does, it's exactly what those guys, the puppeteers, they expected to happen. Remember, Australia, they claim they are a free country. They are a country who is how can I say that? I'm so angry with this. I cannot control myself this time. They rejected Novak Djokovic because he said, "It is my body. I do whatever I want with my body. And if I want to be vaccinated, I will do it. If I don't want, I won't do it." And they said, "All right, we throw you out of our country, and you don't step on our country unless, you stay only in the airport, and in that lousy hotel we host you, and then you go home." And Novak Djokovic preferred to lose this tournamentship from Australia, but he preferred to keep his principles and to keep his freedom of choice. Now what happened? He's back in Australia, and he has been accepted on the mute mode. I mean, the Australians kept a miserable silence on what they did to Novak Djokovic, the tennis player. And he's there, and he didn't make a lot of noise about what happened. And now he played in Adelaide, and now he's preparing to play in the big Australian Open. So the problem, Novak Djokovic is not a case classified, is not a case a closed case. No, it's an open wound, and it will be infected if we don't apply the antibiotic. That is the truth. Yes. The crazy guys, the puppeteers, they did a huge worldwide, an international injustice in the plain sight, in front of every one of us, with Novak Djokovic, and never said we're sorry, and it was stupid, and now there's no signs of worldwide problem with some virus or something like that. It was stupid what we did. We didn't manage to, we didn't protect our country of anything, but we started a case, we created a precedent that means that anyone can be the subject of an injustice, and then nothing is repaired. And we live it like that. Yes, living it like that, that means infections of a wound, and then probably transform in gangrene, and then the hand or the foot must be cut off in order to save the entire body. The entire body is the planet. The entire body is the freedom. And if you touch the freedom this way, you may have the risk of the body dying. And now coming back to your Canadian guy, what he does what the puppeteers, what guys like Rabbi Finkelstein imagined, planned, and put it in action. I mean, they say, let them fight one to each other. Let that Canadian guy do exactly what the countries and the governors did during the pandemic. I mean, they forced people to wear masks. They forced people somehow to be vaccinated. I mean, they told people, if you're not vaccinated, you don't have access to this kind of services, to this kind, to this. And Marcel very well illustrated with his trying to get in a shop.
Okay, so I'm in the MEC, and they are telling me you can't have medical exemption in the MEC, and I'm returning something, so yeah.
Sorry, unfortunately we can't serve you.
Well, then you can have them serve me outside to take back this thing I'm taking back.
I'll happily serve you outside.
Okay, well,
Come on with me.
well, I'll wait in the warmth.
Unfortunately, we will not be serving you until 2 weeks.
You're breaking the rules. Fucking bullshit. MEC in Canada, Kelowna, BC.
We do have our own rules. And
It doesn't matter.
they actually do matter.
It's you're persecuting people for
We're
medical.
not persecuting anybody. We're
Serve
offering
you
you
in a
multiple
separate way.
options.
This is a private organization and it's a private space. I'm sorry if you are not happy. I'll ask you to turn off your recording device. If you don't wish to comply, I will be calling the police. Okay.
I myself and my wife, we have been rejected by chain of huge markets for construction materials. Dedeman is called in Romania. We simply have been thrown out when we said we don't want to prove you with a certificate that we are vaccinated. We are not. We don't want to be vaccinated, and we don't want to prove you if we are not. If we are vaccinated, and they thrown out us, and they never apologized, and the Romanian society kept its silence. Everybody now, it's minds his business, and this is an open wound, and this open wound, as I said earlier, it's becoming an infection, probably a gangrene, and then the body dies. That means freedom, and the freedom of choice. So, I don't buy this Canadian guy action at all.
At the Sun City Silver and Gold Exchange on Bernard Avenue in Kelowna, they're taking a contrary position on COVID-19. First of all, as the sign reads, no face masks allowed. And if you've taken any COVID vaccine, no entry.
Well, initially the no masks were to protect us. There's live inventory in here, real silver and gold inventory.
So you won't let someone in your shop if you've heard they've had the vaccine? How does that affect you?
Well, it's actually been a boon to business. Since the masking sign went up, I've probably had close to $1 million worth of new orders from people who want to do business with someone who thinks like we do.
So it's a niche market.
Well, very much so. You know, people who are doing their own homework with respect to vaccines or masks also, historically, are the type of people who do their own homework with regards to the monetary system.
So your policies, as stated in these signs that you've just described, do run kind of contrary to what our health authorities are asking. Have you had any pushback from the authorities against what you're doing?
No, not at all. The health authorities have proven themselves to be dumbasses.
This is a very dangerous moment because people who consider themselves reasonable are on the edge of getting crazy. I mean, they are playing on the notes, on the score of this guy, this Rabbi guy Finkelstein. I mean, they accept to fight between them, and some guys stay in an armchair with a beer in their hand, smiling diabolically when people are slaughtering one to each other. No, no, no. I do not agree what that guy did. I have another argument. The puppeteers of the planet, they managed to cheat some people, to trick them. I mean, they convinced them to take the first shot. They convinced them to take the second shot. They convinced them to take the third and then a booster. All right, they have convinced them. And people make mistakes in life. They took the first shot, and probably some of them, they think it was a mistake. They took the second shot. Okay, we can consider it a mistake. I mean, they didn't kill anyone. They didn't rob anyone. They didn't do things damaging other people around them. And they probably have been cheated to take the third one, and that was probably in their thinking a mistake. And might be a day that they feel sorry about it. What this Canadian guy does, he says, are you vaccinated? Are you vaccinated 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, a booster? No, I'm punishing you. I don't want to leave you space and time to feel sorry for that. I myself, I'm considering you a threat if you enter my shop being vaccinated and having a mask. Well, a mask is just an object. There must be thousands of reasons for a man, a woman, wearing a mask. Probably, I mean, it's the freedom of wearing a mask as long as you are not a threat, as long as you don't jeopardize someone because you are wearing a mask. And that Canadian guy with the shop, he says you cannot see his face on CCTV. Really? Come on, man. Come on. But when the people were wearing masks during the pandemic everywhere, of course, everywhere the CCTV cameras, they weren't be able to see the people's faces. And the world hasn't collapsed. I don't want to be taken an advocate for wearing masks. I hate wearing masks when I am pushed by someone to wear that mask. But if one moment of my life I want to wear a mask because I don't know what bug I have in my thoughts about that, I don't want to be stopped by someone wearing a mask, right? Yeah. Even by a guy in Canada with a shop who is outraged about those times he has been forced to wear a mask here and there. Romeo from Romania has been pushed to wear a mask and has been thrown out from, sorry for the expression, thrown out from that shop, that huge shop, a Romanian chain market for different construction materials. And it wasn't pleasant at all. It wasn't pleasant at all. They affected my freedom. But I have waited patiently that pandemic to enter in a break. I mean, this break we are facing now, this break where the soccer tournamentship in Qatar has been allowed to occur without masks, without vaccines, and every entire planet. Look at the Argentina population celebrating the Argentina national team, soccer national team, winning the cup. I mean, they were free. They were free in the plazas. No masks, no vaccines, mandatory vaccines in order to gather in a public space, in a public square. And there were 1 million guys over there. And the entire planet is now free to do whatever they want. So I have waited for this moment to shame those Romanians who tried to force me to do that or that. I have never been a threat for anyone, not biologically, not by my thinking, and nobody should be suspected being a threat because he is wearing or he is not wearing a mask, because he is vaccinated or he is not vaccinated somehow for some reason. This is what they want, the puppeteers. They don't have the entire logistic to control us. So they say, let's do something, and they will control themselves one to each other. They will tell us that guy has not been vaccinated, that guy is not wearing a mask, and that guy is, I don't know, he's too tall, and that guy is too short, and that guy is too colored, and that guy is not that colored, and that guy, and that guy, and that guy. No, please don't get in this trap. This is a trap. And if someone is exuberating, is joyful by this, your fellow Canadian guy with the shop doing this, he is wrong. He's completely wrong, because he is opening the Pandora's box with the consequences of this kind of a thinking and acting. I took my freedom to intervene, to interfere in this debate, because this moment is much more dangerous than the pandemic moment, than the war in Ukraine moment, and something like that. This moment of people cheering this guy, Canadian guy with this shop attitude, this is a very dangerous moment. If we get in this trap, then the puppeteers, the Finkelstein type guys, they will cheer, they will open up a can of beer or champagne, and they will celebrate.
And the main sources of Jewish power, financial and political power, how they totally control most of the federal agencies in the District of Columbia.
Well, it's very simple. You know, the Kehillah, that's the inside for us rabbis. We know how to get the word out to every Jew in the world that goes to a synagogue within 45 minutes. All the other presses, the news media, the television, the radio, the magazines, we own all those anyway, so that trickles down. But by the time most of the masses get it, it's too late to make any decision. We already made the decision for them.
Do not do it. This is Romeo from Romania. All my love, guys. All the best.
You know, it's interesting, with trouble looming on the horizon in the United States, you know, there's a lot of white people like me, of European ancestry, who don't really know what's going on. And there's a large percentage of Jews in this country who really don't know what's going on either. They're going to be cannon fodder too, aren't they?
There's a few at the bottom that don't go to the synagogue and they don't know, but they know, they hear that, you know, with parties we discuss it, you know, how we're going to wipe out the white race. and wipe out the outer base, actually let them wipe out each other and make a lot of money. That's pretty smart. You know, us Jews, we're pretty smart guys.
I know.
And eventually, we'll get all the rest of the countries around the world, they'll wipe each other out, because us Jews, we're special. We're the chosen people, and we're the smartest people in the world, and we have always said down through the ages, we want a world of our own, and we're going to get it, and there's nothing any of the Goyim cattle are going to do to stop it. L'chaim.
So you see, it's very interesting that you should bring all of this up, because where do the blacks fit in? I know that you use them. They've been part of the Jewish Communist Party in the United States, a vast majority. What's going to be their end when this is all over?
Well, the Schwarzes, if the truth be known, came here with our father Lucifer 75,000 years ago when he lost that battle, only temporarily, though, in the heavens, because we're on a comeback. We're the comeback kids if there ever was one. But all the Schwarzes, what can you say? You know, they got a good time step. They dance good. A couple of them can sing. They make some nice barbecue. And they're real good for selling drugs, too, because they all love the drugs. And we make a lot of money off of selling the drugs. You do know that we control all the drug world and have since Rothschild got the opium wars in China going. We've been controlling the drugs ever since that. We let a few in here and there to make some money, and they get arrested and they go off to jail for that. But we make the big money. We're the wholesalers. We're the wholesalers of everything